Next Saturday is a very exciting day for me. It rolls around once a year, but it's not marked on any calendars, and nobody, especially the calendar printers, don't write it on there. But as a football fan, it's an exciting day for me because it's the day that they have the NFL draft. A lot of people that complain about the pro athletes that get paid a lot of money complain the loudest about the NFL draft because these are young men that are between 20 and 24 years old that, although they've never played it down in the NFL, will be given millions and millions and millions of dollars guaranteed whether they ever play or not. As a really big fan, the last 3 or 4 months ever since the season actually ended, I've been following a lot of the off-season programs and listening to a lot of the players talk about their experiences. One of the things that they all speak about is under how much scrutiny they are. They have a game that's only for the seniors that takes place in Mobile, Alabama. Every team, NFL team, sends representatives to scout the players. And if you do bad in that game, your stock falls, you make less money when it comes draft time. If you do well, regardless of what you did in college, the 4 years or whatever it was that you played, your stock goes up. Then they have what's called the scouting combine, and they invite 300 or so players to come to Indianapolis, break them up into their different positions, and then run them in drill after drill after drill. Same thing. You could have a good Senior Bowl. You have a bad combine, it just goes up and down until the draft. One of the guys that's going to be drafted high is a guy from USC named Matt Reiner. And talking with some people that have met him and done business with him, they say he is a very easygoing kind of guy, and I believe it. He has also commented in the press and other places that this has been a very tough time period for him in his life because it seems everybody wants to doubt him. Everybody wants to say what he isn't doing right, what he's doing wrong, how he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that, and they're trying to make him out to be much worse than he is. And for an easygoing guy, that it was kind of a shock to him just to see it. And he was told by guys that had been through it, this isn't going to be easy. It doesn't matter how good you are. They're going to do everything they can to make you feel bad about yourself. And he ended up saying, I can't believe that they do this. It's just the way the teams, the NFL teams, go about making sure that we're going to pay you $20 million guaranteed whether you ever play for us or not. We want to make sure at least we're going to get something out of the deal. The more I have followed this and seen what they do to these young men, that they want to do is play ball. Granted, they want to play it for a lot of money, but they have to put up with a lot for about 3 or 4 months. It actually made me think about Jesus' time here. When Jesus is praying in the garden, Father, if it is your will, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. He prays several times. He is in great agony. He knows what he's about to endure. Then he goes and he endures it. And after his crucifixion, he's raised to glory and he returns to heaven, and we all wait for him to come again. But it just seemed like an interesting parallel to me that Jesus had a tough time as he was living. I think we discount it a little bit too much, the fact that he left being God to become a human being, and we think, yeah, he suffered on the cross and he had a tough time. I think about the times when he got sick. I got to believe that he got sick as a child or as a young man. Or as a carpenter, he probably hit his thumb a time or two with a hammer. And just, the frustration that had to be involved with just the day-to-day kind of life of not being God in heaven anymore, just being a human being. And the minor trials that he faced before he faced, the trials that he actually endured after he manifested himself as the Son of God. And it was interesting when I made that connection in my mind about the years that these young men will play in college and do these little kind of trials, and then they get to this point right before the big payday, it just seems like they're tore apart. And the ones that actually do persevere in this 3 or 4 month period actually get, as I've said, a lot of money. And it seems like the same thing happened with Jesus, where right at the end of his life, man, he had a really tough time. When he's traveling everywhere and preaching, and people are, second guessing him everywhere. The people that are supposed to want to hear him, the people that are supposed to be looking for him to come and save the people of Jerusalem are the ones that are his harshest critics. And when they finally get their way and they put him to death, and they think that we've proven that he wasn't the case, Jesus is able to make that sacrifice, and not only does he get rewarded, he's made it so that all of us get rewarded too. And I just wanted to bring that up this morning, the idea that Jesus had a tough time, and like I said, I see these parallels with these young men that are going to be rewarded next week. But then I thought, the reward that they're going to be given doesn't compare with the reward that we have. And in doing my Bible study, it's almost become more apparent to me. I just found that I've been more focused on, the reward that's going to be there when it's all said and done. I told the guy, because the last 2 weeks I've only had one other person in there with me, and I told him, I feel like sometimes I'm the guy on the Titanic going, hey, the boat's sinking. Everybody going, yeah. Just go back to your stateroom and leave me alone. I've got stuff to do. And I can only imagine what that must have been like for the 2 or 3 people really early on that knew something was happening. And now this buddy ain't going to sink. We ain't going anywhere. But it makes me feel better knowing that, my job is to spread the word, and that's what I'm doing. And if people don't want to hear it, they didn't hear Jesus either. But regardless of all that, what happens, the sacrifice that he made and the big payday that he got will someday be given to us also.